p.m. at Munson Williams Proctor Arts Institute in Utica. If you'd like more information, visit our website.
It's time for the Cooper Group's road trip to Fort Plain. We're traveling in a 2007 Kia Spectra during Cooper Kia's year-end closeout. The village of Fort Plain is located on the site of a Revolutionary War fort. Archaeological digs in the 1960s and 70s revealed much about the site, and many of the artifacts are on display at the Fort Plain Museum and Historical Park.
When you come to Fort Plain, drive along Route 5S from the west, and just before you come into the village, on your right, you're going to find the site of the original Fort Plain. Drive up, walk up, whatever, because you go up there, you're going to have a sense of history, and then you can look over into the Mohawk Valley and see for miles and miles, and you will again sense the history of the Mohawk Valley. You'll feel it. It's beautiful now, today. Come on down today, because the trees are still colorful and the view is just unparalleled.
On August 2nd, 1780, there was an unsuccessful raid on the fort. Every summer, Fort Plain celebrates that day with the annual Holding Down the Fort celebration. The event commemorates the day Fort Plain was attacked by British forces. The men were away escorting food supplies to Fort Stanwix. The women dressed in men's clothing and patrolled the walls of the fort, fooling their attackers. Believing the fort's garrison was present, the attackers fled and the village was saved. Next summer, the three-day event will be held the first week in August and will also commemorate the 225th anniversary of George Washington's visit to Fort Plain.
Today, the museum will be open from 1 o'clock until 5 o'clock so that you can come down here and experience it yourself.
It was late one night in October.
I am in the heart of Fort Plain at their park. You might call it their own Central Park. This is very historic because around this park you have a very historic post office, the library, and going back into the 19th century, a very famous person came here to lecture. I'm talking about Mark Twain. Now remember, back in those days, authors didn't make any money off of their books because of the lack of copyright protection. So the way that they made a living was to go around the country lecturing. So Mark Twain had a friend here who was a local editor, and he came here and lectured, we believe, 2 or 3 times right in the heart of Fort Plain.
There are many historic buildings in the village of Fort Plain, and the library has a useful website with old photos, maps, and descriptions. The oldest building is the Isaac Paris Trading Post.
You may recall quite some time ago we did a piece on the town of Paris, and we mentioned how a fellow by the name of Isaac Paris helped those who were starving. I'm now standing in the Isaac Paris house here in Fort Plain. It's the oldest building in the village of Fort Plain. Isaac died at the very young age of 29, but he accomplished so much during that short period of time. He was buried here in Fort Plain, but then his remains were later transported from here to the town that bears his name, Paris, New York. This is now the chapter house of the Daughters of the American Revolution. You can come here any first Wednesday of the month when they're meeting to see the inside of it. If you do that, be sure to come into what I guess would be called the living room, because on the wall here there is the Declaration of Independence, and it is done completely from beginning to end in cross stitch. And it was done in 1853.